What is up, YouTube? This is Black Pro, and the other day I uploaded a video about why gun control doesn't work and what the founding fathers actually meant by implementing the Second Amendment into the Constitution back in 1791, and why it's still valid today. But unfortunately, there are still some people in this world who just don't understand why we need guns in a society. Because as Thomas Jefferson once said, when people fear the government, there is tyranny. When the government fears the people, there's liberty. And that's true because in older regimes where guns are taken away from people, well, a lot of them actually, like, the Nazi regime, the Soviet regime, Castro's regime, just to name a few, the governments were really oppressive. People had no way to defend themselves, and ultimately your basic human rights were violated. And in this country, we haven't really had that. Possibly, maybe because we have the Second Amendment. So it definitely deters governments from taking away our rights like they have in other countries. So anyway, let's look over what this liberal left on my video. So here's what he had to say. Look, man, the facts don't lie. Countries with gun control have much less shootings. Are you saying that, oh, you mag, it's, he just gets, he doesn't even type with proper grammar, so I'm just going to skip over that line because I'm not even sure what the hell he's saying there. The government isn't going to rule over the public with iron fist because we don't have guns. Look at all the other dictatorships that took away guns. Hitler, Stalin, Castro. What happened there? It doesn't make any sense for them to do that. They wouldn't profit at all. Well, it's more of that the government doesn't want you to, be able to defend yourself because, oh, God forbid you have the power to resist unacceptable intrusions in your life. I mean, God forbid. I mean, liberals hate that because, they want to extend the government as much as possible, make the government micromanage your life, perhaps, and if someone doesn't like that, they can just defend themselves with their legally owned gun. So, yeah, that's why big government doesn't like that. You probably sit inside all day playing COD and jerking. You have no idea how government works. Obviously I do, because I understand what the Constitution means and what the Founding Fathers were actually trying to say when they put the Second Amendment in the Constitution. And, you're not even from the United States, so how would you know what the Constitution is really supposed to mean? He gets on to saying how he's from Ireland later on in the comment. Do you honestly think America would do that shit for no good reason? Yeah, because, we have a president, Obama, who wants to take away the guns. In my state of California, we have a senator, Dianne Feinstein, who wants to take away the guns, and literally said that if she could get 51 votes in the Senate, she would ban all the guns. She's literally come out and said that. So yes, America, Second Amendment right, yeah, it's been challenged, and it's going to be challenged for decades to come. Sure, they possibly could do that in the near future. Who knows? Do you honestly think that every other country that doesn't have guns is a tyranny? Not necessarily, but if the people don't have the right to defend themselves, it's much more likely to become a tyranny. Because Hitler once said that people who arm their own citizens are only preparing their own downfall. And that wasn't an exact quote, but it was something along the lines of that nature, because dictators, they don't want their citizens to fight back should, they start taking away the rights. So, yeah, if you want to live in a dictatorship, yeah, definitely follow his advice. Do you honestly think that even if you had guns, you could stop an entire army full of tanks and jets and well-trained soldiers? Well, for example, if they did ban guns, look, there's 110 million gun owners in this country, and there's probably only like, what, 2 million, military and police out there total. Look, I'm no mathematician, but I'm pretty sure 110 million is a lot bigger than 2 million. In fact, 55 times bigger. And plus, you don't know the difference between, a citizen with a gun and a citizen who doesn't have a gun, because, they kind of just blend in. Like, some people, you can't just tell, like, by looking at a guy on the street, oh, that guy has a AR-15 at home, or he doesn't, or you don't know. It's kind of like when America went into Vietnam. We didn't know who was actually fighting for the North Vietnam, and we didn't know who, the actual soldier, the actual combatant versus just an average citizen. We didn't know that, and that's kind of a similar situation you would have here. And do I honestly think that there would be a lot of resistance if the government ever repealed the Second Amendment? Of course, because there's some people who are really going to take the Founding Fathers' intentions to heart. And guys, the Second Amendment is not for duck hunting, guys, as I've said. It's so that you can defend yourself and your state from foreign enemies. a well-regulated militia, and also so that you can defend against a tyrannical government. Those were the two main purposes of including such a provision in the Constitution. And yes, I definitely do feel people will take that to heart, and yeah, some people are going to fight back. Of course they will. Not everyone's just going to willingly give up their guns. The police are going to have to go door to door to get guns from people. Yeah, people aren't going to do that. It's not going to work, and guns are just too widespread to get rid of them. So yeah, liberals don't even think that gun control, like banning all guns, is going to ever work, because it just won't. Yeah, it's like, now he goes on to say, are you honestly that fucking stupid? Gun control is to stop mass shootings, you fucking idiot. Well, it obviously hasn't worked, because we're a lot less free than we were in 1791. Because 1791, yeah, sure, they only had muskets, but, guess what? The civilian was armed with a musket, and the soldier was armed with a musket. They were equal. Now we have soldiers armed with M4 carbines, and the citizens only armed with a semi-automatic AR-15 with a 10-round magazine. There's a huge difference there. And I just don't get how you don't understand that. You see, a lot of people can't really own military-grade weapons anymore because of these stupid gun laws. And now, like in California, you have to have a bullet button on your gun. You can only have a 10-round magazine. Really? That's only going to apply to law-abiding citizens, because do you think any mass shooter is going to keep his bullet button on or whatever if he goes out to commit a mass shooting? I don't think so, because it just gets in the way. It just makes reloading so much more complicated and stupid. So it's only going to affect law-abiding citizens, and it's going to annoy a lot of people, and it does annoy a lot of people. Like, whenever I go to the range and I fire an AR-15, like, to pick up like a spent shell casing or something, stick it in the bullet button, and to get the mag just to release. It's stupid. I'm not sure why they even do that, but liberals, yeah, they don't really know what they're talking about when it comes to guns, so we'll get over that. The government doesn't need to overthrow the public, and if it wanted to, it could. Why would the government ever try to overthrow the public? I mean, the public's not really the government. I'm not really sure what you're getting there. Get it through your school, kid. Criminals wouldn't have the guns to shoot the schools in the first place if gun control was everywhere. Yeah, let's look at a country like Mexico. Mexico, you're not allowed to own a gun. But guess what? Their violence problems are way worse than it is here. Way worse than gun-crazy America. I mean, it's not even safe to go to Mexico as a tourist because you're going to risk getting kidnapped. Like, if you look like an affluent white American and you go to Mexico, you're probably going to be kidnapped and held for ransom. I'm not even kidding. That's why it's not even safe to take a vacation to Mexico anymore. And on top of that, you got the cartels and the gangs, and they all have guns. And you know what? They get them from illegal sources. They got fully automatic guns, for that matter. So yeah, there's a big issue. It's not gun control it's not gun control that's going to stop this. It's really that people can't defend themselves in Mexico because they don't have their own guns, and the government can't stop, or the Mexican government can't stop guns from getting in the hands of the bad people. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of gun violence there. So, and then he goes on to say, how could someone be this stupid? I'm pretty sure I know what I'm talking about, kids. So yeah, he goes on to say, okay, let me stop the caps, because he was typing all caps, because somehow he wants to get his point across. Liberals, they don't have a leg to stand on when it comes to arguments most of the time, so he's trying to emphasize his point by typing all caps. Doesn't make sense, but okay. The thing is, kid, if the government made all of America a gun-free zone and reinforced it with police, criminals would stop using guns because they couldn't buy them at a local fucking Walmart. The point isn't to stop them from carrying guns. It is to stop them from getting guns. You stupid fucking child. Okay, so you propose turning America into a police state, like Nazi Germany or something like that. Put checkpoints everywhere, and like have people like search you, like in airports, style security searches. Make sure you don't have carrying weapons with you. Like, you propose that everywhere? Really? You want to make America from the land of the free into like neo-Nazi Germany or something like that? Really? That seems pretty stupid, kid. Or this guy's probably not a kid, but I just call him a kid. Just degrade his comment even that much more. Yeah, you can buy guns at Walmart, but guess what? There's also a thing called a background check, and in California we have this thing called a 10-day waiting period. It's retarded. Again, because they think that, waiting periods are going to stop murderers from buying guns and just going out and shooting people. Yeah, they don't work, because if someone is going to kill someone's willing to cause harm in this country, if they're that dedicated to buy a gun and kill someone, they're going to do it. And yeah, sure, a 10-day waiting period is going to delay the inevitable, But you're going to piss off a lot of legitimate gun owners who just want to buy a gun and take it to the range to shoot that day. Like, if I want to buy a pistol or something, why can't I just buy one and take it to the range? I would have to wait more than a week to get it, so that's just stupid. Research has been done on this, and it's shown that they make no significant difference. So he says, you don't even research this shit, do you? Yeah, I actually do. I fire guns in real life, and I know what I'm talking about. I've studied the Constitution for years now in school, you know, in college level courses, mind you. So, yeah, I know what I'm talking about. I've never been so genuinely angry at someone. Oh, wow, liberals getting angry. Bravo. You darn liberal don't know nothing about gun zones. Yeah, because people living in no-gun zones would be the ones to know nothing about it. That's kind of just that's another stupid argument. I live in Ireland, and this is the crime we worry about. Is someone gonna steal my wallet? Will someone break into my house when I'm gone? Those are the worst case things that happen in Ireland, because besides dying in a pub fist fight. Well, let's look at it this way. If someone's gonna steal your wallet, just mug you, wouldn't you rather have a gun to defend yourself? Like, instead of getting your, your credit card stolen, your cash stolen, pretty much your driver's license stolen. Yeah, and then if someone's gonna break into your house, yeah, we have that here too. But in America, if someone breaks into like my house, so then you just pull a gun on them, say, hey, look, get out of my house, and then they get the point and they hightail it out of there. Because guess what? In most cases where a gun is drawn in defense, it does not even fire. The criminal knows what's going to happen if he doesn't leave, and so the criminal leaves, and that's the end of that. No harm comes to the homeowner, and really minimal damage is done to the home, and nothing's stolen. So I don't see any problem with that. Yeah, and if you're in a pub fist fight, wouldn't you rather have a gun to defend yourself? If someone a drunk guy just came up to you and started like beating the shit out of you? Yeah, I think you would. If someone was robbing my house and I shouted, "Hey, I see you," the guy would run for his fucking life. Okay, if a 4-year-old tries to break in your house and steal something, yeah, I can see that working. But if anyone over the age of 4 tries to break in your house and steal something, I don't think yelling at them is really going to make a difference, because the guy's armed with a knife, a baseball bat, a gun, and pretty much anything. Yeah, that's not going to work. Hardened criminals don't necessarily, they don't even obey the law, and so, yeah, they're not going to just back off when you start yelling at them, and they're definitely not going to run for his life. In fact, he might just beat the shit out of you or something. So wouldn't you want a gun, to tell him to get off your property, at the very least? If I did that in America, that guy would turn around and shoot me in the head, because it's so easy to get guns. Well, guess what? Yeah, you're probably referring to illegal guns, because most guns used in crimes are illegal. They're either stolen or bought off the black market or something like that. And gun-free zones are partly the blame, because, for example, if you want to go to a government building or a school or a sporting event at some stadium somewhere, well, those are all gun-free zones, so you have to leave your concealed carry weapon in the car. And criminals, knowing this, they often go around parking lots and go, "Oh, is this car door unlocked? Oh, it is. I'm gonna go in and take this guy's weapon and sell it on the black market," and stuff like that. That's how a lot of criminals get their weapons. And yeah, it's unfortunate. If we didn't have gun-free zones, that wouldn't be the case. So we could reduce gun theft and keep guns out of the hands of dangerous criminals, and keep law-abiding citizens armed, just in case some mass shooter does show up with his guns. So a good guy with their guns can take down a bad guy with their guns. Wow, what a concept. In Ireland, they aren't just any guns in the country. The cops use tasers. Okay. Well, if there was an actual criminal with an assault rifle and the cop had a taser, like, who do you think's gonna win that fight? Yeah. Moving on. So he brings up the fact that I bring up wild animals in my previous commentary. How I say, oh, the founding fathers intended for you to use your guns to defend yourself against people breaking your house, and maybe if you were attacked by a wild animal while hunting or something like that. And then he goes on to say, fucking wild animals, my ass. Just treat the animal with respect, and it will plod along its way. If someone gets mauled by a bear, it's usually their own fault. Just learn to respect animals and stop acting like they're hunting you down 24/7. Well, animals are unpredictable. They sometimes go after you for no reason. I mean, I've had a bear break into one of my garbage cans once in my vacation home. And yeah, I was minding my own business, and this bear just comes up and rips open my dumpster and starts going through the Carl's Jr. that I had in there. So yeah, they don't always plod along on its way. You know, they're actually quite dangerous animals. That's why they're at the top of the food chain. Um, yeah, so, and then he leaves another comment on there arguing about how we didn't lose Vietnam. There's some people claim that we didn't because we just withdrew, but that's a different topic for another day. And then he says, oh, in Ireland, 209 people have died of being shot. And in America, that number's 10,000. Well, let's look at the statistics, okay? So Ireland is a country with a population of around 6 million people, right? America has, what, 320 million people? So 320 million divided by 6 equals 53.3. So America is 53 and a third times bigger than that. So you take the 209 number, multiply it by 53, and guess what you get? You get 11,146. So do you know what that means? Is that if Ireland was the same like size as America, there would be over 11,000 gun deaths. So proportionally, Ireland is doing worse than America, than this gun crazy America. And guys, keep in mind that the murder rates pretty much in all the gun countries, the gun-free countries in the world, are much higher than this gun-crazy USA murder rates. Because America has an average rate of murder-suicide, but like, let's look at a country like Japan. They don't really allow guns; they heavily restrict them. But Japan's suicide rate is double what America's double America's homicide rate, and it's more than America's homicide and suicide rates combined. So there's one problem with that theory about old gun-free countries being peaceful. Also, a lot of European countries have higher murder rates than America's if you take them like proportionally instead of just skewing the facts. Because Ireland is 1/53rd of America's size, and yeah, so taking that number 209, comparing it to 10,000, yeah, it looks like Ireland is a more peaceful country, but it's really not. If you look at if you just look at the numbers, you do some math. And then he also goes on to say, oh, also the reason why gun-free states are getting shot up, because all the states around them are full of gun-toting maniacs. In order for gun control to work, it has to be unanimous. Gun-toting maniacs. So just because I go to the range and fire guns and stuff, that means I'm gonna go shoot up a school now. Really? Is that what he's getting at? So of the 110 million gun owners in this country, one of them is a gun-toting maniac. Well, if that were the case, it would be total chaos and anarchy. Hey, yeah, see, liberals can't really defend their point very well, especially when it comes to gun control. Like, on other issues, I can definitely see their side of things to some degree. But, come on, guys. Liberals just don't really make sense when it comes to gun control. They don't know what they're talking about. They probably never fired a weapon in their life. And now we have people in the government like Obama and Feinstein who want to just ban guns, and we've been getting heavy restrictions on guns in the past years, especially in the wake of mass shootings and stuff. So hopefully, guys, this commentary has helped you just understand more about the liberal argument and why it just doesn't make sense, and why you should probably not put people in don't send people to Washington who have the same line of thought, because it's just not going to work. Really, banning guns is just about power control, about just taking guns away from the American citizen just so big government has more power over you. That's really all it is. It's Obama and all those other gun-grabbing politicians don't care about stopping mass shootings. In fact, they only try to politicize it. Obama saying, after every mass shooting, he says, oh, we need to come together as a country and make sure that safer gun laws are passed. Really? Obama, do you not realize that a dozen people have just been killed, and now you're trying to pass your gun legislation? You're trying to further your political agenda? You see, this is just disgusting. What the type of people we send to Washington, and you know what is even more disgusting is that we voted this guy in office twice, and Feinstein keeps getting elected in California and passing, oh man, god-awful gun laws and assault weapons bans and all this other stuff that just makes my head hurt, because they're just rooted in lies, and they don't help anyone at the end of the day. In fact, the one piece of legislation that has hurt America the most is probably the Gun-Free School Act of 1990, which completely set the stage for mass shootings like Columbine and Virginia Tech and Sandy Hook. Because guess what, guys? At the end of the day, a gun-free zone is a sitting duck zone. It only invites criminals because no one can fire back. And until liberals realize that, We're not getting nowhere in this country, and I think it's just that people are afraid of guns because they don't know how guns work. Because you take a movie like Rambo, oh, he's running around with an M60, a fully automatic M60 with a seemingly endless magazine. That's not how real guns work. In fact, many of the so-called military machine guns that people running around with, like AR-15s and stuff, like scary-looking guns, are just semi-automatic assault rifles that fire an intermediate cartridge, not the full-size 7.62 round or anything. And the more that the liberal media misleads people on guns, the more they're going to want to ban them. And I bet that's the way it is, because most people probably in this country, a lot of people probably haven't fired a gun, so they don't know how it works. And then they see, oh, guns are so dangerous, we need to ban them. And they're like, hell yeah, we're gonna ban guns. We're gonna make this country safe again. We're gonna stop mass shootings. Well, that's not gonna work, unfortunately. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the commentary. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you guys later.